What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime coming back at you with another video. Alright, so today I am here to bring you all my review of Boku dake ga Inai Machi, or otherwise known as Erased, episode 7. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get this started. So in the last episode of Boku dake ga Inai Machi, we see that Satoru ends up being caught by the police, and then he experiences another revival, which we see in this episode. He is sent back to his childhood days once again, but one day before Hinazuki's and his own birthday. And it's very odd how this scene played out, because in this episode, we saw Satoru just say, "Bring me back," and then he was sent back to the timeline before, like a day before Hinazuki and his birthday, which was very odd to me, because I thought the whole revival thing worked, where, you know, it's only triggered when Satoru experiences a traumatic experience or just by his emotions alone, which we have seen throughout the rest of this series. But it seems like now he also, in a way, has somewhat control of his revivals. Or maybe he is starting to learn more about his revivals in the process. I don't know. I just thought that was quite weird. Also, Kenya got quite a bit of screen time in this episode. We see Kenya and Satoru talking in the hallway at their school, and Kenya just flat out tells Satoru, "Hey man, what is going on here? I don't understand what is going on here. I mean, you look like Satoru, but what did you do with the real Satoru? Because the one who is inside Satoru isn't Satoru. It's like, you know, you are a completely different person to who I used to know." And from the beginning of this series, we saw that Satoru was kind of like a little bit of an introverted type of person, especially in his childhood days. He didn't really care about pretty much everything around him. But it turns out that, you know, throughout experiencing his mother's death and also learning about Hinazuki's disappearance, you know, he wants to do something for these deaths that have been going around, and we see Satoru becoming more of a selfless person, and that's a very big change to Satoru's character, and that is why Kenya is just asking, "Hey, why are you so, like, communicative these days?" So apparently there is a book that Kenya ended up lending Satoru, and Satoru hasn't checked out this book yet, but maybe it will pop up later in the future for symbolizing the events that will unfold in Erased sometime down the line. Apparently this book is called The Switched Man by Edgar Allan Poe, very famous novelist and poet. Now, Edgar Allan Poe, The Switched Man. I ended up looking up this book on Google, and I couldn't find this book whatsoever, because I wanted to see what this whole book was about, to see how I can actually analyze this for this episode review of Boku dake, but I couldn't find the book. Maybe they just renamed the book title because of copyright issues and whatnot, so maybe that is why I could not find it. Maybe it's just under a different title name. If anybody can tell me that, let me know down below, and I'll probably try to make an analysis video if I do end up reading it somewhere down the line or whatever. But this title of the book, The Switched Man, is very symbolic to the events that we could probably or just in general that has been going on throughout Boku dake. The Switched Man. Like, from what my interpretation is of the Switched Man, is that the Switched Man, it shows Satoru back in his original days, where he is very selfish. He's just pretty much all about himself, necessarily. Very introverted type of guy, and he doesn't really care about others, at least in the beginning of the episodes and what we expected, how he was like in his previous childhood. However, he has made a drastic change, and he's switched. He's a switched man, unless this is talking about a different individual like Kenya or something like that. But anyway, Satoru is a switched man. He is completely different from how he used to act. He's willing to go the extra mile in order to save his mother, and more importantly, Hinazuki at this point, because I guess, like, he has become very attached to Hinazuki lately. But yeah, he is very attached to Hinazuki right now, and he has just become a very selfless type of person, and he is willing to even go as far as to try to kill Hinazuki's mother, just to put her out of the picture so that way Hinazuki can have a better life. And he even says that I am willing to go the extra mile and do anything. I don't care if I, end up in jail or anything. I'm doing this all for Hinazuki, for her to have a better life. And this makes me believe that Satoru, especially with the red eyes that happened throughout this episode, with him having the red eyes, Satoru is also a possible candidate for the murderer of Boku dake. Sorry if this review sounds very confusing to follow. I mean, when it comes to a time travel anime, it is very hard to pull off correctly, so that is why I'm even having trouble talking about this series. But, I mean, you know, we don't really know at this point where exactly this series is going to lead. I mean, there are still, like, about 5 more episodes for this series, so, I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and just keep on theorizing until we actually find out what exactly happens by the end of this series. Now, regarding the red eyes in this anime, from what we know so far as viewers, we know that there have been various characters throughout this anime series who have been shown to have red eyes. And now we have it to where Satoru is being shown having red eyes in this anime as well. So what exactly does the red eyes symbolize? Well, it seems that red can symbolize hate, anger, or even passion in this case, and it looks like Satoru has the passion to go as far as possibly killing Hinazuki's mother just for the sake of keeping her alive. So yeah, I think I'm gonna still stick with my theory that Satoru could actually be the possible candidate for the murderer behind Boku dake, because at this point, it's either Hinazuki cannot be saved at all, or if she is able to be saved, then Satoru is going to have to change the timeline and go as far as to being the killer himself. Also in this episode, it seems that Satoru and Kenya are going to be working together in order to keep Hinazuki safe. They have a little bunker right in the middle of the woods, and this little trailer that they are in actually is most likely where everything is going to unfold in Boku dake ga Inai Machi, because if we look at the adverts for Boku dake ga Inai Machi, we see that Hinazuki and Satoru are inside that little trailer. But if you look at the right hand corner at the very top, you will see a hand right there, and what we could possibly assume of that is that that is the killer. And by the end of this episode, we are assuming that apparently the killer is walking inside the trailer to capture Hinazuki or whatever. So whatever's going down in the next episode is going to be very exciting to see. Not for Hinazuki though, but you get my point. That about does it for this review, guys, of Boku dake ga Inai Machi episode 7. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on what you thought about this episode. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a like. And if you want to stay up to date to my future content on this channel, please hit that red subscribe button below and you'll never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a great day.